TIFU by making my mom think I'll move in with her. A couple of days ago, fucked up, and I don't know what to do, and haven't yet reaped the consequences of my actions yet. I'm currently 18 and have been living with my dad most of my life. My mom and dad were both young adults and not ready for a kid when they had me, so they were never together after I was born. My mom owned me at the start till I was 5 and lost custody due to a couple of reasons, but mostly because I was an escape artist kindergartner and I'd leave my schools to wander. And at the time, my mother was homeless, living in a women's shelter with my 2 younger sisters. My dad eventually gained custody of me, and I was held back in school to redo kindergarten. Throughout my life, my mom has always tried to get me to move back in with her and my 2 sisters. I was 6, I believe, when she kidnapped me from my dad and tried to keep me with her. It was during a school year, but she re-enrolled me into school, so they found me really quick, I think. But after all that, my dad got me back, and him and my mom worked some things out, and finally both agreed to do the whole weekend with moms and school week with dad. And this worked throughout elementary. Then I went to middle school. My dad got a new girlfriend, and we lived with her, and my mom decided to move to a different state with my sisters. I was pretty upset about this because my mom was leaving. Eventually, my dad breaks up with his girlfriend and we move. We didn't move to an usual place, though we moved to essentially nowhere. Our address doesn't show up on Google Maps and doesn't have directions. The closest town is a 30-minute car ride, and most my neighbors are 15-minute walk away from one another, and we don't have running water, so I take a shower only once every 2 weeks. This was also in COVID times 2021, so I was on online school, and me and my dad lived with my grandma, so it was an interesting living situation. Eventually, my mom moved back to her original state to live with her new boyfriend. 2022, my dad told me he thought it was best for me to live with my mom since she was back, so I did. Now I love both of my parents, and I know it might seem cruel to say this, and I do feel really bad about saying this, but living with my mom was awful. I learned a lot of things I shouldn't have, and I had to deal with a lot of fuck-up bullshit. But I really want to make it clear I love my mom. Living with my mom and her boyfriend was not at all fun. The whole house was too overfilled. 3 kids, me and siblings, 4 adults, 2 roommates, and my mom and her BF, then 6 animals, 3 of my sister's pets, and 3 BF pets. The house smelled, and only had 4 bedrooms. My mom and her BF lived in the downstairs living room. My bed was on the floor, and was originally the cat's room. There were cat doors, so the cats came in and out as they pleased, and please they did, cause they piss on my bed. It got bad enough I had to flip my whole mattress over, cause nothing I did got rid of the pee. I think some of the few worst things that happened was the constant cheating my mom did to her boyfriend. That could have gotten us kicked out since he owned the home. Luckily he didn't. But it drove me nuts that she could have made us homeless, and she always argued that he couldn't kick us out. He could. Then the most cruelest thing my mom did was text me at school to tell me that we were putting one of the cats down. No call, no sit-down discussion, just a text. While I was at school, and I have 2 half-sisters. I have a different dad than them. We thought my sisters A and C both had the same dad. A and C dad died a long time ago. They both were pretty messed up about it, but it happened when they were pretty young. But while we were living there, C overheard a conversation mother was having. It turns out the man she thought was her dad wasn't at all, and was only A's father. Just imagine that. That's fucked up. That's awful. I can rest easy knowing my dad's my dad. But my sister can't. I just couldn't believe my mom would do that to her. And I can't really put into words what knowing that stuff is like. But I hate it, and I just didn't want to live there anymore. And then I moved back in with my dad, and went to in-person school. Eventually school ends, and my mom is asking me to move with them to Tennessee. She broke up with her old BF, but got a couple of new ones. I convinced her to try to move near where I currently live, because I want to finish my last school year in this school, and have my sisters go with me too. And I could still live with my dad. I made this whole suggestion up, because I love them, and I love my mom too. And I still want to live near them. Sadly, she couldn't find a place near. I'm at my dad's house when I suddenly get a call from her saying that she found a place near, but it wouldn't be at the same school, but she said I could find a job nearby and she would buy me my own RV. I thought about going to a school with both my sisters and having my own place, having showers whenever I wanted. I was caught off guard and just said yes without thinking about consequences. I didn't think about my dad's feelings. I didn't think about my mom's feelings. I didn't think about my grandma's feelings, and I didn't think about the awful nasty situations my mother puts me in. So I fucked up. This is just me mindlessly typing my feelings out, so it probably won't make sense, and I doubt anybody will read it. But if you do, sorry, it's incoherent.